Shalom. Shalom, Yasharala. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakach Chodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching 100% truth. Wabarakatham to the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect. May peace and blessings be unto your households. All right, and it's your brother Gadal from the Great Millstone Dallas branch. And in this quick lesson, just going to get into pretty much, man, who is your true family? Who's your true family? All right, and honestly, I'm just going to let the scriptures do the talking before I say anything. You know, this is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 46. It says, while he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto, and this is talking about Yahweh Shai, man. Just to throw that out there. It's talking about Yahweh Shai, brothers, sister, or blood brother, right? And mother and sister was ready to speak with him, right? It's not sister, but brother was there to speak to him. They wanted to talk to him, but he was busy. But back in Matthew 12 and 48, it says, but he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother and who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my mother and sister. My Salakia. The same is my brother and sister and mother. Right? So those who does the will of Yahweh Bashem Shah, through them are your true family members, man. Right? You know, you might not be related by blood, but spiritually, man, yeah, these are your brothers. These are your sisters, man. You know, the ones that serve Yahweh Bashem Shah, them are the only ones. Them are your true family. Because they believe they got the same goal in mind as you, man. It's getting the hell up out of here. Hell, they'll treat you better than your family actually would, man. To be honest with you. They'll treat you better than your family. You know? But them are the ones that are just gonna be your family, man. You're supposed to look at as family, that you're really supposed to ultimately, them are the ones you would have to lay your life down for, or should be willing to at least. Right? And if you serve Yahweh Bashem Shah, man, you're gonna be willing to lay down your life for the brothers, man. Right? The sincere Akim and the few sincere Aqua. Right? Very few sincere Aqua. Right? Them are the ones that matter ultimately, man. As far as everybody else, man, they don't matter as much. Matter of fact, let me get that. This is Luke chapter 14, verse 26. It says, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yeah, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And the word hate in this, it don't actually mean you full on hate, despise your family. No, it just means to love less. Right? So if you don't love less your father, mother, and your wife, children, brethren, and sisters, you know, when it comes to serving Yahweh Bashem Shai, then you can't be his disciple. Right? In other words, you're supposed to love the brethren more than this ministry, more than anything else, ultimately. More than whatever job you got, whatever car you got, your family, your best friend, or used to be best friend. Yeah, you're supposed to love this truth, aka the brethren, more than them. Because that's the only thing that matters, man. The only thing that matters is what you do towards the ministry, serving Yahweh Bashem Shah, man. It's not. Now, of course, you respect your mother, your father, your brothers, your sisters. You respect them, of course. There's a balance to it. You don't just sit there, be just a complete asshole, man. You got to move with wisdom. As it says in Colossians, I think the 3rd chapter or 4th chapter, I think, how it goes into, walk in wisdom towards those that are without, So we've been given this wisdom to walk towards, this wisdom and knowledge to walk towards those that are without this wisdom and knowledge, right? Which is what, in this case, we're talking about your own people, right? And then on top of that, you got to keep in mind that, what Matthew 24 said, the love of many is going to wax cold, right? So the ones that's going to, the ones that are going to turn you in first, it's going to be your own damn family. Go ahead and get this. Matthew chapter 10, and verse 36, it says, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household, right? So your foes is going to be of your own household. The ones that are going to betray you, right? Or at least betray you first is going to be your own family, man. And let alone, it's probably going to be the one you least likely thought it would happen. You'd be like, dang, I didn't think my mom would do it. Oh, I didn't think my pops would do it. Dang, I really didn't think my brother would do it. It's actually pretty cool. We don't know. If they not in the truth, man, and they in the world, man, they just beware. I'm reading verse 37. It says, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Right? So if you love these things more than Yahweh Shem Shai and his men, ultimately, Yahweh Shem Shai, then you're not worthy. As we got in Luke, man, you can't be the Lord's disciple, man, because you're going to care about them too much. Oh, man, my mama need me to do this. No, don't get me wrong. It's, this, like I said, there's a balance to it. There's a balance to it. But to have them as an excuse for every single thing that goes on within your life, the reason why you can't make camp, the reason why you can't chill with the brothers. My rib. Now if you got a family, that's different. But if you don't got a family, you really should be chilling. Let alone if you ain't got no rib, you really ain't got no excuses. But if you have a family, then you have to tend to your duties as a man, of course. You give the brothers their time, and then you go do what you got to do with your family. But if you ain't got no family, let alone you ain't got no rib, to be honest, there's really no excuses. There's no excuse why you should be, not being around the brothers a lot. When the time comes. Now, if you have a rib, you'll be with the brothers longer. And sometimes you won't. It's a balance to all of this. But in other words, ultimately you gotta love Yahweh Shem Shai more than anything. Not even just your family, but in this case, we are talking about, your family, or your blood family, right? Because the only ones that are truly your family, anyways, is the men of the Lord, man. Them are the ones that serve Yahweh Shem Shai. They're the only ones that are really worth any of your concern. You gotta have that agape love, aka that brotherly love towards them, man. It's very important. The Lord don't talk about, oh yeah, you need to make sure, you show all the love to, to your family and all. Nah, bro. If anything, this is the exact opposite. He's like, nah, man, love your brother, serve your brother. And what kind of brother he's talking about? The ones that serve Yahweh Shem Shai. Them are your brethren. Now, scripture do touch upon being respectful to your parents. Yeah, you be respectful. Don't get me wrong. You don't be a fucking dick to them because you come to the truth. No, you still keep that same respect. They tell you to do something, you need to do it. They are your mother and your father. Scripture goes into you obey your mother and father as you would your masters. Roughly paraphrased. Matter of fact, let me see what I said. There it goes. Damn it. Here it goes. This is Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 1. It says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father. Matter of fact, let me see what it says in NLT. Let me see what it says. Okay, let me get NLT. This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1 in NLT. Says, children, obey your parents because you belong to the Lord, for this is the right thing to do. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with the promise. If you honor your father and mother, things will go well for you, and you will have a long life on the earth. All right, so scriptures go to you still supposed to have that respect towards your mother and your father, man. You know, you don't just come into the truth and now you're just some asshole in the fucking family. Now you might mess around and be the black sheep, different. Only when they ain't eating pork or something, okay. But you know, there's a way to maneuver in all that, man. You know, it's different for every brother though. But yeah, man, you know, just keeping in mind who's your true family, man. The ones that serve you how about you don't shy. As far as everybody else, we in the matrix, man. Right? What did Neo say, man? If you're not plugged out, if you're not out of the matrix, then you're part of it. So guess what? Your family members can turn on you at any given moment. Now your brothers that's very least likely. Shit, they're still gonna be, you know, people that we thought were brothers, because it really just mean they were never brothers. That turn on us in when all hell breaks loose, man. A time of adversity when you need them the most. That's still gonna happen. But does that mean you look at every brother sideways? No. You just make sure you do your part, and you pray to the Lord that you don't be the one to betray somebody, because you could be the person that betrays somebody, betray the brothers. You know. But anyways, you know, Lord willing, I was edified. I want to end up by saying, Kal Halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And until next time I say, Shalom, Yeshua.